Life often feels heavy, burdened by invisible weights we carry. But imagine a life unencumbered, where your spirit soars freely. Today, we explore powerful insights, ancient wisdom that teaches us to gently release what no longer serves us. By letting go of 7 specific things, you can truly unlock the happiness that already resides within you. This is about freeing your heart and mind. Lesson 1. Release the chains of past regrets. Not to dwell on it, but to gently observe it without judgment. Recognize that at every moment, you did the best you could with the understanding and resources you had at that time. Everyone makes choices they later wish they hadn't. That is part of being human. Instead of regret, cultivate understanding and self-compassion. See the lessons learned, however painful they may have been. Every experience, good or perceived as bad, has shaped who you are today. Embrace this growth. Actively practice forgiveness towards yourself for any perceived missteps. Say to yourself, "I forgive myself for not knowing better than." Then, consciously shift your focus to the now. The only moment we truly have power over is this one. Many of us carry the heavy burden of past regrets. We replay old conversations, second-guess decisions, and dwell on what could have been different. This constant looking back ties us to moments that are already gone. When a past regret arises, simply notice it. Acknowledge its presence without getting caught in the story. Then, gently bring your awareness back to your breath or to the sights and sounds around you. This simple act of redirecting your attention helps to break the hypnotic hold of the past. Understand that holding on to regret is a choice, and you have the power to choose differently. Release the story, keep the lesson, and step into the present moment with a lighter heart. The energy you free from the past can now be directed towards building a fulfilling and joyful future. This is the path to genuine freedom. It's like dragging an invisible, heavy chain behind us, slowing our progress and dimming our present experience. The past, by its very nature, is unchangeable. No amount of worry or self-blame can alter a single event that has already occurred. True liberation begins when we understand this fundamental truth. Clinging to past mistakes only creates a cycle of self-criticism and prevents us from seeing the new possibilities that stand before us today. It's an act of self-imprisonment. To release these chains, we must first acknowledge the past. One powerful technique is mindful reflection. Take a few deep breaths. Lesson 2. Release the burden of future anxieties. Just as the past can anchor us, the future can trap us in a different kind of prison: anxiety. We often find ourselves lost in what-if scenarios, imagining worst-case outcomes for situations that haven't even happened. This constant forecasting drains our energy and steals our peace in the present. We worry about finances, health, relationships, or global events, creating elaborate mental dramas that rarely come to pass as we imagine. This habit of overthinking and projecting fear into tomorrow pulls us away from the only moment we truly possess, right now. We adjust our words, our actions, even our very identities, hoping to gain acceptance, praise, or admiration. This constant pursuit of external approval creates an unstable foundation for our self-worth. Our happiness becomes dependent on the ever-shifting opinions of others, leaving us feeling anxious, inauthentic, and perpetually unfulfilled. When we base our value on what others think, we surrender our power. We become chameleons, changing colors to fit every new environment, never truly knowing our own true self. This chase is endless. There will always be someone who doesn't approve, and trying to please everyone is a recipe for exhaustion and disappointment. It's an illusion that true contentment lies outside. When we live consumed by future anxieties, we miss the beauty, the opportunities, and the simple joys of the present. Our minds become a battleground, not a sanctuary. To release this burden, we need to cultivate a deep trust in the unfolding of life and focus on what we can control. The future is uncertain for everyone. It's the nature of existence. Instead of fighting this uncertainty, we can learn to embrace it with a sense of calm acceptance. This doesn't mean becoming passive or unprepared. It means taking wise actions in the present moment, then letting go of the outcome. Practice focusing your attention on the task at hand, on the conversation you're having, or on the feeling of your feet on the ground. This anchors you firmly in the present, where anxiety has less power to take hold. Imagine your worries as clouds passing across the sky of your mind. Acknowledge them and let them drift by. Mindfulness is a profound tool here. When you notice yourself spiraling into future worries, pause. Take a slow, deep breath. Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Most often, in this very instant, you are safe. You are breathing. You are present. Focus on your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, taste, feel? This grounds you. Develop a habit of gratitude for what is good in your life today, no matter how small. This shifts your perspective from lack and fear to abundance and appreciation. Understand that while planning is wise, obsessing about hypothetical problems is a form of suffering we create for ourselves. Release the need to control every future variable. Trust in your ability to navigate challenges as they arise, knowing you will meet them when they arrive, not before. Live fully today and watch your future worries naturally diminish. Lesson 3. Release the need for external approval. So many of us live our lives seeking validation from others. To release this need, we must turn our gaze inward. True approval comes from within. It's about cultivating self-acceptance, self-respect, and self-compassion. Start by recognizing your inherent worth, not as something to be earned, but as something you already possess simply by being alive. Understand that your value is not tied to your achievements, your possessions, or how many people like you. It is fundamental. Practice listening to your own inner voice, your intuition, and your deepest values. What truly resonates with you? What brings you joy and meaning? Begin to make choices based on these internal compass points, rather than trying to anticipate what others might prefer. This is an act of courageous authenticity. Understand that every person is on their own unique path, with their own set of challenges, strengths, and circumstances. There is no single right way to live, and success looks different for everyone. Instead of looking outward, turn your focus inward. Cultivate an attitude of appreciation for your own life, your own progress, and your own inherent value. Celebrate your small victories. Acknowledge your unique talents and appreciate the path you are walking. Remember that true contentment doesn't come from being better than someone else. It comes from being fully present and engaged with your own life. Your journey is yours alone, and it is intrinsically valuable. Develop the strength to be yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable. Understand that not everyone will agree with you, and that is perfectly okay. Not everyone needs to. The opinions of others are often reflections of their own experiences and perspectives, not objective truths about you. When you feel the urge to seek validation, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for someone else's applause? Redirect that energy back to your own self-care, your own growth, and your own genuine expression. Celebrate your unique qualities, your quirks, and your imperfections. These are what make you uniquely you. As you become more rooted in your own inner knowing, the need for external validation naturally diminishes. You will find a quiet confidence that radiates from within, attracting genuine connections and authentic happiness. This is liberation from judgment. Lesson 4. Release the habit of comparing yourself. In a world constantly showcasing highlights reels of other people's lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We scroll through social media, look at our friends, colleagues, or even strangers, and inevitably measure our own lives against theirs. We compare achievements, appearances, possessions, relationships, and perceived happiness. This habit is a direct path to dissatisfaction and a profound barrier to inner peace. When we compare, we are often comparing our own messy, complex reality with someone else's carefully curated facade. We tend to focus on what others have that we lack, leading to feelings of inadequacy, envy, and resentment. This cycle of comparison robs us of the joy of our own unique journey. It tells us we are not enough, exactly as we are. To release this destructive habit, we must first recognize its insidious nature. Practice conscious self-awareness. When you catch yourself comparing, gently observe the feeling without judgment. Notice the thoughts that arise. Then, intentionally redirect your attention. You can say to yourself, "This is their path, not mine. I focus on my own journey." Understand that nothing in life is truly perfect, and that includes us. Recognize that imperfection is part of the human condition, connecting us all. Try deliberately allowing yourself to be imperfect in small ways. Turn in a project that isn't absolutely flawless, or create something artistic purely for the joy of it, without worrying about the end result. Shift your focus from the product to the process. Find joy in the effort, the learning, and the continuous journey of improvement. When you release the need for perfection, you free up immense mental and emotional energy. This allows for greater creativity, spontaneity, and a more relaxed and joyful approach to life. You'll discover that true beauty and genuine growth often reside in the perfectly imperfect. Life is dynamic, messy, and constantly evolving. True growth often emerges from mistakes and setbacks. See mistakes not as failures, but as invaluable learning opportunities, stepping stones on the path of progress. Cultivate a mindset of good enough or progress over perfection. Instead of aiming for an unreachable ideal, aim for completion, for effort, and for learning. Celebrate the act of trying, the effort expended, and the lessons gained, rather than solely focusing on the flawless outcome. This shifts your focus from a rigid endpoint to the rich, ongoing journey of life. Or, I am enough, right here, right now. Shift from comparison to connection, offering genuine well wishes to others instead of measuring yourself against them. Focus on what you can learn from others' successes or challenges, rather than using them as a yardstick for your own worth. Embrace the idea of enoughness. You are enough. Your progress is enough. Your life, with all its imperfections, is enough. By choosing to celebrate your own unique story, you free yourself from the endless and self-defeating game of comparison and open the door to a deeper sense of peace and contentment. Lesson 5. Release the pressure of perfectionism. Many of us strive for excellence, which is a commendable goal. However, perfectionism is a different beast entirely. It's the relentless pursuit of flawlessness, an impossible standard that creates immense pressure, constant self-criticism, and often leads to procrastination or burnout. Perfectionists fear making mistakes because they equate errors with personal failure. This pressure stifles creativity, innovation, and genuine joy in the process of creation or effort. We become so fixated on avoiding imperfection that we might not even start a task, or we meticulously revise it endlessly, never feeling it's truly good enough. This constant striving for an unreachable ideal leaves us feeling perpetually inadequate and exhausted. It steals the pleasure from our efforts and diminishes our confidence. To release the grip of perfectionism, we must embrace the profound wisdom of imperfection. Practice self-compassion when you make an error. Instead of berating yourself, offer yourself the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Lesson 6. Release the bitterness of unforgiveness. Holding on to resentment and anger towards others, or even towards ourselves, is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Unforgiveness is a heavy emotional burden that poisons our own peace of mind. It keeps us emotionally tied to the person or situation that caused us pain, replaying the hurt again and again. Sometimes, people act from their own pain or ignorance. This understanding can soften your heart. If direct communication or reconciliation is not possible or advisable, practice a silent, internal release. These are the negative stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, and what we deserve. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," "I'm not smart, creative, worthy," or "It's too hard for me," become deeply ingrained truths that dictate our choices, prevent us from taking risks, and keep us stuck in a narrow comfort zone. These beliefs are often formed in childhood or from past experiences, and while they might have served to protect us at one point, they now hinder our growth and prevent us from realizing our full potential. They are invisible barriers that we construct ourselves, believing them to be real. You can visualize yourself cutting the energetic cords that tie you to the pain. Send a silent wish for their peace, not because they deserve it, but because your own peace depends on it. Forgiveness is a process, not a single event. It may require repeated acts of letting go, but each time you choose to release the bitterness, you reclaim your power and move closer to inner freedom. Your heart, unburdened by resentment, becomes open to compassion, love, and genuine happiness. This is true healing. This bitterness festers, consuming our thoughts, draining our energy, and preventing us from moving forward with a sense of lightness and freedom. It traps us in the past, preventing new experiences from bringing joy. Unforgiveness doesn't harm the other person as much as it harms us. It keeps an open wound in our hearts, preventing it from healing. To release the bitterness of unforgiveness, we must understand that forgiveness is primarily a gift we give to ourselves, not necessarily to the other person. It's about letting go of the expectation that the past could have been different and choosing to liberate ourselves from the emotional grip of anger and resentment. This doesn't mean condoning the hurtful act or forgetting what happened. It means releasing the emotional charge associated with it. It means choosing peace over perpetual pain. Begin by acknowledging your hurt and anger. Validate your feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel pain. Then, consciously make a decision to release the burden, not for them, but for your own well-being. Practice empathy, if possible, trying to understand the other person's perspective or the circumstances that led to their actions, even if you don't excuse them. Lesson 7. Release your self-limiting beliefs. Perhaps the most insidious chains we carry are the ones forged by our own minds, self-limiting beliefs. To release these self-limiting beliefs, we must first become aware of them. Pay close attention to your inner dialogue. What stories do you repeatedly tell yourself? What assumptions do you make about your abilities or your future? Once identified, challenge these beliefs. Ask yourself, is this truly a fact, or is it just a thought I've adopted? Where did this belief come from? Does this belief serve me, or does it hold me back? Often, you'll discover that these beliefs are not based on objective reality, but on fear, past failures, or others' opinions. They are not solid truths, but rather fragile constructs of the mind. Remember, your thoughts are not always facts. They are just thoughts. Begin to rewrite your inner narrative. Consciously replace negative, limiting thoughts with empowering, expansive ones. Instead of "I can't," try "I'll try my best," or "I'm learning." Instead of "I'm not good enough," affirm "I am growing and capable." Seek out evidence that contradicts your limiting beliefs. Celebrate every small step you take outside your comfort zone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and uplift you. Understand that your potential is vast and largely untapped. You are capable of far more than you currently imagine. By consistently challenging and replacing these old stories, you begin to dismantle the invisible walls you've built around yourself. You unlock new possibilities, courageously pursue your dreams, and step into the boundless potential that has always resided within you. This is true empowerment and self-realization.